Today's news. Today's news.
In North Carolina.
The House has overridden the governor's veto and the bill becomes law.
New hope in the fight over the debt ceiling.
It is possible to get a deal by the end of the week.
Alleged shoplifter killed at a Walgreens.
Banco Brown was murdered for the crime of being homeless.
Good morning. I'm Deborah Rodriguez with the CBS World News Roundup. Protests in North Carolina after lawmakers overruled the governor and enacted a new abortion ban. Correspondent Caitlin Huey-Burns has our top story from Raleigh.
Under the new law, which goes into effect July 1st, most abortions will be banned after 12 weeks of pregnancy, a reduction from 20 weeks under the previous law.
The veto stamp has been applied.
Just 3 days earlier, North Carolina's Democratic Governor Roy Cooper rejected the bill.
It will make abortion unavailable to many women.
But his power is limited. Last month, a Democratic state representative from the liberal-leaning Charlotte area switched parties just 5 months after elections. The change gave Republicans a supermajority and the power to override vetoes from Governor Cooper.
A court of appeals in New Orleans is scheduled to hear arguments today in the Biden administration's bid to overturn the ruling of a Texas judge that would make the commonly used abortion pill, mifepristone, illegal nationwide. At issue, whether the FDA approved the drug properly 23 years ago. A change in the president's travel plans after a trip to Japan is providing new hope in the battle over the national debt ceiling. CBS's Weijia Jiang from the White House.
I'm cutting my trip short.
President Biden's decision to ditch Australia and Papua New Guinea so he can rush back to Washington underscores how little time is left to reach a deal on the debt ceiling. The U.S. could run out of money to pay its bills as soon as June 1st. Yesterday, the president's meeting with congressional leaders did not end with an agreement, but they're inching closer.
The structure of how we negotiate has improved. So it now gives you a better opportunity.
Areas of compromise include permitting changes for domestic energy projects and clawing back about $30 billion in unspent federal COVID relief money.
Mr. Biden plans to return from Japan Sunday. Missouri has ended an emergency rule that would have limited gender-affirming care. CBS's Matt Piper has the details.
The rule would have required adults and children to undergo more than a year of therapy and fulfill other requirements before they could receive gender-affirming treatments like hormones and surgery. The Republican-controlled state legislature just this month passed a bill that prohibits gender-affirming treatment for minors, and the Republican governor is expected to sign it.
The Secret Service is investigating a break-in at the home of President Biden's National Security Advisor, Jake Sullivan. Correspondent Catherine Herridge reports.
An unknown intruder breached Sullivan's Washington home 2 weeks ago, around 3 a.m. While Sullivan's home has a robust security system, the intruder, apparently intoxicated, went undetected by at least 2 Secret Service agents outside. The source said Sullivan confronted the intruder, instructed him to leave. There were no signs of a forced entry.
Outrage is growing in San Francisco, where an unarmed homeless man allegedly shoplifting from a Walgreens was shot and killed by a security guard. But the district attorney says the guard acted in self-defense, and he will not be charged. CBS's Nancy Chen.
Protests continued in San Francisco following the release of surveillance video by the district attorney's office showing the moments 24-year-old Banco Brown was shot and killed. Surveillance footage shows Brown with a bag in his hand walking toward the exit. The security guard, Michael Earl Wayne Anthony, blocks Brown, pushing and shoving him. The guard then appears to punch Brown several times before knocking him down to the ground. Brown grabs the bag and heads to the exit. He turns toward Anthony, who then fires a single shot at Brown.
It's 4 minutes after the hour.
Well, that's today's news. Today's news. I didn't hear any good news, did you? I didn't think so. I guess it's all about perspective. The glass is half full. Well, as always, I want to thank you again for coming along with me on these Dash Cam News adventures. You know the drill. Peace, love, and all that hippie jazz. Bye-bye, everybody.